preschool friends. Today we're going to read a story called If You Were an Eel, How Would You Feel? By Mina and Howard Simon. If you were an eel, how would you feel? If you were an eel, how would you feel? Or a bear, or a tortoise, or a bat, or cat, or seal? How would you feel? Say, if I were an eel, as an eel I would feel like hiding and gliding in green watery places, curving and wriggling around slippery stones, among waving sea plants, and gently nibbling with the floating bits that are the meals of eels. Say, I were a bear. If I were a bear, I'd wear a brown thick coat of brown bear fur. And have long claws at the end of my paws. I'd roll my head from side to side, holding it low as I go, shambling or ambling on all fours, looking for nuts and berries and honey, climbing trees for apples and cherries. If I were a bear, I'd find a cave in a forest, deep in a forest, to sleep all winter, sleep and sleep and sleep all winter. And get up in the spring and look out of my cave and sniff the warm air, hungry as a bear. Say, I were a tortoise. If I were a tortoise, I would travel slowly, lowly. Take in my head and put out my head. Have a look around, close to the ground. Snap up an insect or two, and not have much else to do but grow bigger and bigger and travel slowly, lowly, and be safe under my own roof of tortoise shell. If I were a bat, I'd swoop low and fly high in circles at dusk or in moonlight or darkness. And live in a barn or a belfry and sleep all day in a bat's way. Head down, hanging from a beam or a rafter, and I'd have silvery fur and wings besides, and fly around at the end of the day, and make a small twittering sound. If I were a cat, I'd sleep on a mat, or sit in the sun, or lie in the grass, and watch a snail, or a bee, or flea, or a plane, or pigeon, or nothing. Just watch and blink. Can you guys just watch and blink? Feels a little funny, doesn't it? And look, like a lion, a very small lion, I'd swagger a bit or crouch at a hole in the wall waiting to pounce on a chipmunk or a mouse. Can you spot the chipmunks, friends? Do you see them scurrying under and over the wall? I'd roll in catnip or bite at asparagus, or go for a walk, stately, sedately, or run indoors to leap on a chair or a table, and purr for a reason, like breakfast or lunch, and rub against legs in woolens or jeans or in nylons. And I'd sleep in a basket or in a bed, if allowed, be proud of my kittens if I had any or many, and teach them to watch and to purr and to crouch and to pounce. Look at all those little kittens. Their mama cat is teaching them. Say I were a seal. If I were a seal, I'd swim in the sea and dive off rocks and have whiskers and a sleek, shiny coat. I'd swallow a fresh fish or two or three and do a flip and a flap back on the rocks, crowded with relatives and numbers of friends, and dry in the sun and bark for fun. More or less, that's how I'd feel if I were a seal, a cat, or a bat, or a tortoise, or bear, or eel. Now, say you were an eagle, or beagle, or kangaroo in a zoo, or an overweight porpoise, or a small teal. How would you feel? The end. How would you feel, friends, if you were a creature, an animal? What would you choose to be? And how would you feel if you were that animal? Do you think you would have fun? Do you think you would explore? Do you think you would sleep a lot? What do you know about the animal that you would choose to be? Well, thank you all so much for learning with me today, and I'll see you all soon.